Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
It is good to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Erin Hartley.
And I'm Cerise Cole, along with Jared Lansford, Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. Let's start by talking about what it's not. It is not
60
negative.
degrees.
It's not 60, but it's also not 25 to 30 below degrees like we had yesterday. It is not that, although it is still on the chilly side this morning.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are about what we'd expect. You still want to wear your winter gear, but we're not like bone-chilling, can't feel my fingers cold out there.
That was ridiculous.
That was nasty yesterday. Let's talk about where we're at. We had some wind chills that were near 30 below yesterday morning. This morning, we're at 18 with a feels-like number of 9. It's manageable. We can handle it. Southeast wind at about 7 miles per hour. You can see some clouds moving through. Upper teens, lower 20s out there as of right now. And you'll notice here that most of these haven't moved much in the last few hours. We've been hanging there. I mentioned compared to yesterday, we're 25 to about 35 degrees warmer at 7 a.m. today than we were at 7 a.m. yesterday. But like I said, it's still cold. Still have some wind chills down in the single digits. You still want the same gear. Maybe just one less layer, depends on what you need here. Single digits on the Iowa side, you got teens on the Nebraska side. Wind chill forecast, though, gets better into the afternoon, but still mid-20s at best, unfortunately. So it's still not going to be great out there. And yeah, we have to factor in the wind today. It'll be out of the northwest pretty quickly this morning and get up near 25 miles per hour at times. So another thing we got to watch for, first alert to a couple of flurries that may move through today. A little more organized snow to our east. Not too much coming down the pike here from the northwest, but I think we could see a few flurries today, maybe a snow shower overnight tonight that we'll have to pay attention to. So let's give you that first alert forecast here if my graphics don't freeze. There we go. By noon, if anything, I would have thought they did it yesterday.
Right.
We're going to see temperatures that should be able to make their way into the mid-30s into the afternoon today. I think we can muster about 35 to 36. You can see a couple little specks of some snow shower activity trying to dive in. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but again, don't be surprised by some snowflakes on the drive home. Temperatures in the 30s, so on the right side of 32, I don't foresee them causing any issues on the roads, and just not enough of it. And then we head towards 7, we're down near 30. A few more organized snow showers to the northwest may try to march through overnight, but again, you're going to be lucky, I think, to see much of anything from these. And if we get anything, what we'll probably see here is just a light little coating, maybe 1/10 of an inch in some spots as it dives in from the northwest. So a couple little stripes could set up. Again, not that much to worry about. I don't foresee it causing big problems, but again, I just don't want you to be caught off guard if you do see some snowflakes today and tonight.
Okay, some even better news about increasing the temperatures. We're looking at 40s, even high 40s going into next week.
Yeah, next week looks really, really good. So let me show you. We got a little hiccup before we get there, but those 40s do look amazing. Not going to get those here this week, but I know that's what everybody's going to be focused on in the 10-day. Thursday, just a little bit of a dip tomorrow. Couple more mornings that we can get through with some single-digit lows. Yeah, I think we'll get down close to 10 by tomorrow morning, and then climb up to 32 for the high. Still a little bit of a breeze. Then the south wind kicks in, and we'll start to warm up a little bit. Here's a look at your wind chills for tomorrow. Yeah, still not great. They'll be single digits above and below zero most of the day, but that might be it for a while. 38 Friday, 35 Saturday, 33 on Sunday. And then look at the 40s next week. That's 5 days in a row in the 40s. If we had anything to melt off, it would. But there's nothing out there. So we might make a run at 50 one of those days. Would not surprise me. But kind of a stretch where the warmth can kind of build on itself. So we'll see what it does early on and see what we can adjust for later.
Looks lovely. We're making up for yesterday, for sure.
No kidding.
We deserve a treat.
2 or 3 nasty cold days and we get 5 40s. How many people would take that in January?
I would.
Exactly.
All right. All right, speaking of, people were off because of the cold. Now they're back on. Traffic is picking up, you can tell.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. So if you are someone who maybe have been enjoying the last couple of days, I hope you really enjoyed it, because we're looking at things a little bit different this morning. So let's look at just how different it is. This is I-80 as you're getting your 72nd. You can see there's a lot more traffic than we were seeing as we were checking in yesterday morning, Monday morning during our streams. A lot of headlights out there. Now, thankfully, those vehicles that are on the roads are moving along pretty well on I-80. A little slow on 72nd as you're approaching from the north. Keep in mind, from the south, you do have that bridge closure that's still in place. That's going to be there for quite some time. And as a result, we're seeing 84 slow down some at this point. We've also been looking at the ramp, some of the ramps at the 84th interchange, backing up some at times. This morning, that was a problem we noticed last week too. So watch for that, and that could potentially lead to some issues on the interstate itself if it got bad enough, and I'll be watching that as we go through the morning. Right now, that is not the case. Moving along pretty well on Dodge. It's kind of one of those situations where we're seeing things increase, but we aren't seeing problems develop just yet, and hopefully those get held at bay. I want to first alert you to this, though. This is a problem that will be here for quite some time. Starting today, we've got one-lane travel on Q. This is just to the west of 120th and Q, where we have one-lane travel both directions. Actually, we have a retaining wall that's getting reconstructed, and that's the reason why we have this long-term restriction in the traffic flow. That's going to be there for 4 months, so be prepared for that. That's an area you'll probably get slowed down. But for the most part, what you're noticing when you're looking at the map is this kind of speckled pattern that you're seeing on Dodge. You've got it there on Center. That's an indication of things really picking up on the roads, but not having much issue with that. So that's not the worst thing that we could be seeing on the maps at this point. And we'll continue to watch for things, but hopefully those additional drivers continue to get along in good shape.
Yeah. Okay, Jared, thanks. An investigation is now underway into a man's death. Omaha police say a body was found not far from Creighton's campus. This is around 17th in Chicago. This all happened around 8:15 on Tuesday morning. That man was declared dead at the scene. Well, an Omaha apartment complex under scrutiny by tenants and now city officials, and they're now facing a deadline.
Now, Mayor Southard says City View Apartments has 10 days to fix the problems, or they will order the building to vacate. City leaders say there are 48 code violations. Contacting the owner has been a challenge because they live in Miami. Communication has mostly happened through attorneys.
To be in Miami, where the owner lives, and have, own a building that is in this shape is more than disappointing, because nobody should have to live in an environment like we are seeing in some of these units, and also in the common area. I drove around there just the other day, and even the exterior, I know we've told to clean up because of the debris, and it's very, very unkept.
If there is an order to vacate, residents will have time to move out.
All right, over here at the safety desk now with Maria Cade. Maria, you have some good information about online safety, especially when it comes to kids.
Yeah, there's a new study that's out and it's focusing on a really important topic. And the study actually found that 1 in 12 kids have been exposed to online sexual abuse. So some really devastating information there. Georgia State University researchers looked at data between 2010 and 2023 for this study. They analyzed the number of kids younger than 18 who were exposed to that abuse. And this can include things like online solicitation or sexual images and videos. The study's lead author says the results show the need for more awareness and advancements in digital technology to try and prevent this online abuse. Now, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says last year it received more than 36 million reports of suspected child sexual exploitation. And experts say talking to your kids about online safety, making sure they're aware of not where to go and what to look out for, that's really important and really key to protecting them.
Yeah, good information there. You also have some good information for parents about, or really for anybody who enjoys sugary drinks.
A sweet treat every once in a while. Those liquid sugars that are found in many, many drinks, they're found in foods too during processing. They can be really harmful and dangerous. Eating too much can be really harmful to your health. Now, in the U.S., adults eat about 17 teaspoons of added sugar sugar on the average day. Yeah, when you put it like that, can you imagine just taking a spoon and eating 17 of it? It's crazy, and that's 2 to 3 times the recommended daily allowance. Now, besides the extra calories, recent research reveals even just one serving of the sugary drinks a day can put you at a higher risk for heart disease.
It's no surprise that the American Heart Association recommends water as the best thing to drink throughout the day.
Now, things like pop, sports drinks, energy drinks, fruit-flavored drinks, all of those have tons of sugar in it. And to try and avoid drinking too much, Gupta says just try carrying a water bottle with you at all times for easy access. That way, if you do get thirsty, you could drink that. Of course, make sure you're drinking it before you get thirsty so you stay hydrated.
I think I hear Cerise crying over there. She's very sad. All right, Maria, thanks. We're back after this.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are taking a live look outside. You can see Midtown Omaha. I love that the lights are still up, so we still have that holiday feel. It is really a pretty view. It is cold. We don't want you to be deceived by that, but just not as cold as we were yesterday. It's probably, I'm no meteorologist, but this is probably where we should be this time of year.
Yeah, pretty close. Nothing too far outside the norm.
Okay.
And that's going to be the story for today. We'll warm up a little bit, get into the 30s like we should. But you look, the map looks so much better than yesterday. We have 20s, teens, a couple of 30s showing up. Overall, not that bad compared to the single digits and double digits below zero of yesterday. All that air's moved to the east. Still got some wind chills down in the single digits, some double digits on the Nebraska side. A little bit of clearing at times, but watch the wind the next couple of days. I mentioned earlier on, the wind's still a factor tomorrow, likely still in play on Friday. So you're going to notice it each and every day this week. This morning, not so much, but by the time we get into the afternoon, gusts up to 25 miles per hour out of the northwest. And then out of the north tonight could get up near 30 miles per hour. So it's going to have a little bite to it. There's a little clearing. That's why we've fallen off to where we're at. We'll climb into the mid-30s today. Notice there may be some flurries this afternoon, perhaps a few snow showers tonight. They don't amount to much. The story with the snow is all down to the south right now. The storm system that caused all the problems has exited the East Coast just barely and now is snowing into the Atlantic. And there's a stripe of snow that follows the entire Gulf Coast here. And you look at the snow depth map, trying to melt off some of this. Got some new accumulation down here in parts of South Carolina, Georgia. Haven't seen official numbers out of that yet, but overall, this is the estimated snow depth out there right now. And there are places in Louisiana that are down in the single digits this morning. You just can't handle cold like that. A lot of homes don't even have furnaces. It's very, very dangerous down to the south. For us, we just got some stray snow showers, a little batch heading towards Chicago. Maybe check Chicago for delays later on this morning if the snow tries to stick a little bit. For us, we have the potential during the day today and into tonight to get a couple little stripes where we may get a quarter of an inch of accumulation. I just don't see it adding up to much of anything, any significance. So we're keeping an eye on this record here. Every day we adjust the numbers a little bit. Still second place for the least amount of snowfall through the start of the season. And the only one that's had less is 53-54. And I believe that season ended up with about 8 inches of snow grand total. So we can still see some snow, obviously, but we are well behind average. And we don't have anything to worry about here through the weekend. And as Cerise was mentioning, about where we should be. Average highs about 34 this time of year. The one lone cold day looks like it's going to be tomorrow. A couple of cold mornings sprinkled in there as well, both Thursday and Friday morning.
Yeah. And we're on a positive trend, too, because we're seeing 40s next week, even getting close to 50.
Yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 days next week that could get there. We'll watch Wednesday, maybe Friday. Even looks pretty mild beyond this, too. And I believe next weekend would be into February already. And you look at the 8 to 14-day outlook, a little surge of some warmth trying to show up in the middle of the country. You see, look at the precipitation potential, keeps us on the drier side of things. Yeah. So we'll see what we can do. But this January, this season is going down in the record books so far. If we make it, I believe, into this weekend, we're going to be #1 on that list. I think you get to like Friday, and then we'll be #1 for the least snowfall to start a season.
We are going to be #1, aren't we?
The only hope is tonight. Maybe we get a 10th or 2 here.
Let's hope for a little.
Is that shocking to you?
I figured it would be a dry season, but nothing this much. I mean, I went below average in my snow forecast, but not in a million years I would have put the least amount ever. That would have taken some guts.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Jared's here with an update on traffic. You're watching the whole city for us.
Yes. Let's look at the whole city all at once, or at least 4 spots. We can pull a quad box here. So we're looking at I-80. We're looking at 90th and Dodge. We're looking at 144th. We've got in the upper right-hand corner a whole bunch of merging signs through Midtown with some of the streetcar work that's happening. So you're kind of doing a snake pattern as you're driving along Farnham, if you've done that in the last couple of weeks. We're picking things up, but we've kind of got some noteworthy stuff that's happening in a lot of these areas. So this is what we've got. I-80, things continue to be busy but moving, so that's encouraging. Hopefully we can keep that as the case. Here's what I was talking about there. Farnham, you've got signs here, pointing you in different directions to merge. And it's not just Farnham, you've got some work on Dodge, so be on your toes as you drive through that part of the city. Here's 144th, and this is something that I'm going to be watching through the day. The information I was given indicated some construction that would limit to 1-lane travel southbound on 144th as you're getting past Dodge. This is the view of that, and there are cones there, but they're not in the road right now. So it's possible later this morning those get moved into traffic. So keep that in mind as you're driving past Dodge there. You may encounter some lane restrictions, and actually it's supposed to go from Hamilton to Pacific, so take in that entire stretch. Right now it looks like they're not in place, but 1-lane travel could be in place there. That would be through Monday. We've also got 90th with some lane restrictions there. 1-lane travel scheduled through tomorrow from Davenport to Westover. That's just south of Dodge. Mainly moving along pretty well in the early going. We'll hope for that to be the case through the rest of the morning too.
All right, Jared, thank you. Well, Mayor Gene Stothert and Omaha Police Chief Josh Bonner say they don't want the city's residents to live in fear of its police officers.
Yeah, both have said that OPD is not changing their policies should federal authorities ramp up immigration enforcement. Now, the city's current policy says that while those committing a crime would be subject to federal policies, OPD officers would not seek out individuals to check their legal status.
The federal government, local government, 2 different silos. So that the federal government can't come one day and give a directive to the Omaha Police Chief, to the mayor, and say this is what you're going to do. Look, we have our defined mission. We're not going to alter from that, and that's the approach. So anything else on that would be a hypothetical as to how we possibly could be compelled into helping. We have our primary mission here, and that is to police the city of Omaha and make sure our citizens feel safe.
Well, the chief adds that maintaining community relationships is a priority for police.
Happening today, early voting applications for this spring's Omaha City elections will be mailed out. It must be completed and submitted by March 21st. So voters who do not receive an application can still request one. You can request a mail-in ballot by submitting a request in writing. It just needs to be accompanied by your signature. Well, ballots for Millard Public Schools' upcoming bond election are making their way to voters.
That's right. The election will take place through mail. Voters can decide on a $158 million question. $77 million of that go towards improving safety and security. Ballot measures must be returned by 5 on February 11th. We have a list of ballot drop-off sites up at our website. That's at firstalerts6.com. Well, many great movies like Deadpool and Wolverine and Wicked came out in 2024.
Yeah, but what about the movies that didn't get any recognition, or worse, got recognition for all the wrong reasons? Find out when First Alert 6 streaming returns. Well, Hollywood awards season usually highlights the best movies of the year, but not always.
All right, the Razzie Award nominations were announced, recognizing maybe the not-so-good films of 2024. Joker Folie à Deux leads the list of this year's nominations with 7. The sequel scored noms for the Worst Picture as well as the Worst Actor and Actress. Geez, Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor, by the way, and Lady Gaga, who is also a great actress. Okay, close behind 6 nominations were Madam Web. Oh, I heard that one was bad. Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis and the biographical drama Reagan. The winners are announced the day before the Oscars on March 1st. Okay, the Madam Web one, I heard people were walking out of the theater.
I did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
Oh, it was really bad.
There were some controversial issues with that one because they had written the script, filmed the entire movie, and then like a month or 2 before it was supposed to come out, changed half the script, but didn't have enough time to go back and re-record the video. So they ended up ADRing and dubbing over some of the words. So there were some scenes where people were talking and the words were not what the mouth was saying.
No wonder. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I heard Dakota Johnson wasn't even into it. Like she was like, no,
A little checked out. Yeah, you could tell a little bit on the press tour, I think.
All right.
Okay.
But the Oscar nominations come out tomorrow morning, so maybe some good news
A lot
coming
of
out.
You and I
Wicked sprinkled
are
in there.
well, we don't know. I mean, we're either going to be really
Crossing
happy
our
or really
fingers,
disappointed.
Everything. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
These two will keep us updated. We don't see the movies, but they do. So, all right, everybody, thanks for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. You can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
All right. Have a great start to your Wednesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get an update on traffic this morning with Jared Lansford.
And a lot more vehicles on the road with school fully back in session. This is I-80 around 72nd. We're noticing the increase in the traffic. Thankfully, it seems like things are going fairly well for the most part. We've got a couple slowdowns. 84th is kind of a mess right near I-80. Keep in mind you've got that closure on 72nd. Both directions of 84th was quite the slowdown, so keep that in mind early this morning. We've also got 90th and Dodge. That's starting to back up, one of our busier intersections as we head out the door, but mostly moving along in okay shape. Hopefully we could keep any problems to a minimum. Rusty.
All right, thanks, Jared. It's warmer than yesterday, but still January cold. 18 feels like 9 at the moment. Got some single-digit wind chills on the Iowa side, a little bit better on the Nebraska side, but overall, you still need to bundle up. At best, our wind chills today get up into the 20s, so you're still going to feel the breeze as it takes our high. It should get up into the 30s and drives it down a little bit. Here's where your wind gusts are going to be 20 to 25 miles per hour, a good chunk of the afternoon into the evening, and likely still persist overnight tonight. So we go to 36 today. Don't be surprised by some flurries today, maybe a couple of snow showers overnight, then 22 Thursday, 38 on Friday. So the coldest day there lines up on Thursday, and I think even in the morning hours you're going to notice it down near 10 to start on Thursday, and I think there could be some single-digit below zero wind chills again to start off tomorrow morning. Aaron?
Mayor Gene Stothert says that City View Apartments has 10 days to fix 48 code violations, or the city will order the building to vacate. If that does happen, residents will have time to move out.
It is 7:28, and we're back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.